Hello everyone. My video blog for this week has the title Saving Grace: Elephants, Dolphins, and Whales. These three are some of the most magnificent creatures on the planet, and unfortunately they are also some of the most endangered. We have not yet learned to treat them with the respect and honor that they deserve. Slowly, this is changing, but not completely. Elephants are much in the news lately, and they have been killed for various reasons for a long time. The main one is for their tusks, where they're killed and just had the tusks ripped off of them and then sold as ivory in countries where it's still legal. And then the other thing that we are reading more and more about now is that hunters kill the elephants just so they can have the trophy of the elephant head to hang on their wall. This is banned from many places, and we hope that it will continue to be banned in the US, but the hunting still continues. As far as dolphins go, they are captured and imprisoned in theme parks in various places, and it shortens their life. Basically, they're living in a prison. So we take away their freedom. And whales, whaling has been banned in many places, but it still continues in at least 2 countries that I know of. And the whale meat is sold for food. So these creatures are not being given the respect and love that they so much deserve, because they are highly intelligent, wise, and just beautiful. They're a gift to themselves, and they deserve to live freely on this planet. And they're a gift to us because we have the opportunity to see how intelligent and loving and wise they are in their own lives and in relation to us. It has been my fortune in my life, my good fortune, to have the opportunity to be in the presence, live and in person, with all 3 of these beings, and not in a zoo or a theme park, but in the wild. My first experience with dolphins was swimming with them in the wild in the Caribbean in 1998, almost 20 years ago. And we were on a small boat that we lived on for a week, and the dolphins knew this boat. They knew the people who went on this boat had integrity, often animal communicators. And so they would come to visit and play with us. And there were very strict guidelines that you do not touch, you do not chase. You are just there to be with them. And they would come and swim around us and play. They were just full of play, full of just the joy of life, leaping and swimming around us in circles. And they also had highly developed psychic abilities. They would often respond to your thoughts, often before you finished the thought. There was one woman on one of the trips who was deaf in one ear, and she was thinking that she would love to have the dolphins come to her other ear so she could hear the squeaking sounds that they make. And within seconds, a dolphin came to her hearing ear and made the sounds so she could hear it. And I had the experience many times of a dolphin coming and meeting my eyes within a few feet of me and swimming around me. And I would turn to keep the eye contact and keep turning. And at one point, I was getting a little bit tired. My legs were tired of spinning myself around in one direction. And I just thought, gosh, I wish we could go in the other direction. And the dolphin immediately changed directions. So they're just sweet, and they have humor. They play with seaweed, tossing it around or playing with it on their nose and fin, and letting us do this take it and toss it to them, and then they catch it, and they're just wonderful, beautiful creatures. And when you look in their eyes, you feel as if you're looking at a being from another planet who is giving you the gift of allowing contact with you. And I just love them. They change everyone. They open your heart. There's not a person who has been in the water with dolphins that doesn't feel like their heart is opened wider. So that's my experience with dolphins. With whales, I have swum with whales also in the Caribbean, in a different area where they go in the winter months. And that is a very different experience than with the dolphins. You don't swim around and play with the whales. You just rest quietly in the water and watch them. And they come, and they are just stillness, absolute peace and stillness. When you slip into the water with the whale and look and see them, you are enveloped in their stillness. It is an animal communicator I know has called them the closest thing to God consciousness on earth. And you feel that. It's like entering a temple to be in a whale's presence. And they're very aware of you. They're huge. Even the babies are larger than a bus. And they swim and navigate around you in amazing ways. And they, once again, these trips on boats are conscious, and you are visiting their home, and you treat them with respect, and basically you just let them define the experience. If they come, they come. If they don't come, that's their life. So then the other experience I've had was just this last year in visiting South Africa and seeing elephants in the bush there, which was an amazing experience. I've always wanted to see elephants, and it takes your breath away to see them in their home, to reaching up and pulling down entire branches of trees to eat them, interacting with their babies, digging into the bare sand. There was a drought there, so they would tunnel down with their trunks into the sand to get at the water, and then you would see them tunneling down and taking the water on wet sand and squirting it over the top of their heads. And they just, when you look at them and you look at their ancient eyes, you just feel like these beings are so precious and so intelligent. And there are so many stories, if you read various books, about their intelligence and their emotional connection to one another. I think the book The Elephant Whisperer is one. And so it was just such a beautiful experience to see them in person. So I feel very emotionally connected to all three of these creatures, and I feel like it is our responsibility to watch out for them, to speak up for them, to pay attention to what's happening to them on the earth, and to, especially now with elephants, sign every petition you can, support organizations like NRDC and Greenpeace and many others who stand up for the elephants and the whales and the dolphins and all animals, and treat them with the respect and love that they deserve, because they are other creatures just like us on this planet, and they're not here to be used. They're not here for our enjoyment. They're here for themselves. And if we have the precious opportunity to see them, that is in itself is just a gift. Really, the best gift we can return to them is to allow them to be free and live their lives without any human intervention or constriction. So this is kind of what I'd like to say because I feel so deeply about these creatures. I think it's an important time to speak for creatures. And also, the other side of it is to send love and prayers to the humans who have not yet reached the level of consciousness where they see that animals are just like us. It's coming. It really is coming. This is a time of change when our consciousness as a people is shifting, and we're learning not to treat other beings on this planet, humans, animals, trees, as other, but as part of us. So I urge you to do what you can to speak out and speak up for these creatures. And I'd like to end with a story that I heard, a story or legend, whatever you want to call it. I read about it a few years ago, and it's about the times we live in and how people's consciousness and awareness will be changed. And the story goes something like this. There is a hunter, and the hunter goes out hunting for deer. It sees a deer, it shoots the deer, and it kills the deer. And in this process, suddenly, the man's consciousness shifts, and he feels everything that the deer feels: the fear, the pain, and the dying. And in that awareness, all separation between him and the deer ends, and he feels only oneness. And he puts down his gun, and he never picks it up again. And that is the metaphor for our times, that we all find that part of us within us that maybe sees other, whether it's another human being or an animal or a tree or an insect or anything. And we step out of otherness and step into oneness with all creatures. And that's my wish for this Thanksgiving week, that we all step into oneness. Blessings to you all.